Axelar still continues to be one of those projects that a lot of people are just simply overlooking right now in this market, while we continue to see the market just chopping and pretty much trading in a very boring fashion. And this is one of those altcoins that, in my opinion, will be very, very exciting going into the end of this year. I think that a lot of people will look back on the chart for Axelar and say, well, it was just an obvious play from the chart alone, but then also looking at the fundamentals and the connections back to projects like XRP, for an example, I think that it's going to become even more obvious, and it's going to be painful when we see a lot of people saying, I could have bought Axelar around 30 cents, but I bought at these levels, and it's $1 plus. You might call me crazy, but when we look at Axelar and we look at the all-time chart for this thing, it doesn't look like there's much life, right? We're trading right around all-time lows. We're trading around the levels going all the way back here to roughly October of 2023. And these are those projects that I always say, a lot of people will overlook them at crucial points in the market, especially in a market where most altcoins have done a 100 to 200 to even 400+% push over the last 12 months. And if we look at the last 12 months for Axelar, we're actually down 42%. This is a project that I still am betting big on being a major winner this cycle. And the reason for that is because of all of the connections, all of the major announcements that we continue to see. And just going off of the chart alone, we should start to see a very strong impulse on Axelar once the market bounces back. Now, let's actually address the network itself. So 417 million Axelar is staked. This is going off of the 1.21 billion supply. The inflation is currently 3.8%, so there is 3.8% inflation on Axelar per year. But if we look at the network activity itself, we do see the cross-chain activity, almost 8 million transactions, volume almost $2 billion, and we can see the total value locked sitting at about roughly 1.26 billion. And the GMP contracts, and this is with the 81 connected chains tied to it, is sitting over 1,100. So again, very good to see. We could see the transactions here between all the networks, the volume as well. So far, Axelar has been seeing a significant amount of growth over the last couple months, and I'm very excited about this. And they also continue to launch more and more things. You can actually see at the top that we do have this Mobius development stack, which is the MDS. This is just another launch by Axelar that, in my opinion, is going to change the way that certain things around this market really work. So I'm very excited about this. I think that this is going to be a crucial piece for the future of this space. And we can see the projects that are already utilizing MDS today, like Sui, Ripple, Base, BNB. And these are some of the largest networks in the space, and they're tapped in with Axelar in a big way. Now, beyond this, we also have the Axelar scan open over here for Interchain. So this is just another piece of the Axelar ecosystem. We can see the GMP contracts that are tied to this, 93. We can see the volume and the transactions. Transactions over the last 30 days, 115,000. The volume, 150 million. This has been spiking here and there during the month. We can actually see going back here. This is on August 5th. There was about $14 million tapped in on transactions. And then we also have over here August 13th, which is about almost $13.3 million in volume as well. Now you might be saying, well, Nick, this really isn't a lot of volume for a project the size of Axelar. This is a very large amount of volume for a project like Axelar when we think about just one piece of the network. This is just the interchain side of Axelar. There's a lot of growth happening around this ecosystem, and they continue to expand more and more and more. Like, for an example, one of their most recent announcements, which we will go over in this video. But let's start off real quick going over the chart, because just like I said before, when we look at the chart over on CoinMarketCap, it looks dead, right? We're trading right around all-time lows almost. On the weekly, the main thing that I've been looking at is this blue zone. I personally see this blue zone as being an accumulation zone for Axelar. I believe that we will bounce big off of these lows. Currently, we are just chopping, and we have been chopping since going all the way back to April. We have been waiting for a big break above this trend line, which we have yet to do so. And while we just continue to chop here, and while we continue to trade in a very boring fashion, I do think that this is the best time to lock in and average into Axelar and just really kind of build out a strong portfolio with Axelar included in it. Because Again, we're not going to see these types of opportunities last forever in this market. I'm just going to be honest with you guys, especially when we think about altcoin season, being as close as it is, which, if we're looking at it, I don't think that we have more than a month for altcoins to start going insane. And I think that Axelar is going to be one of those big movers once we start to see a lot more recognition and a lot more volume, pouring into Axelar. Now, beyond this, let's talk about recognition, because Axelar continues to make a lot of noise for itself. We do see here top 10 RWA crypto projects by developer activity last month. And this is what I keep saying. Okay. I keep looking at these projects, and the main thing that I focus on is there anyone building on these projects, like on these networks? And that's like a big question to ask yourselves. Because again, if we're putting money into something and it's a ghost town, it's not going to perform. There's not going to be a lot of growth. There's not going to be a lot of activity. So we need to make sure that we are focused on networks that have solid developer base on them, that are building out specific use cases that could attract more users. Axelar is number 5 on this list. You want to know how significant that is? Axelar is number 5 on this list above Chia, VeChain, Injective, Hedera, Centrifuge. Guys, these are very large projects. Hedera by themselves, guys, we know how big Hedera is. I think Hedera right now currently has like a $7 billion market cap, might even be higher. Axelar has a $375 million fully diluted value market cap. We could see on this list that Axelar is at number 5 with 81.47 dev activities in the last 30 days. We could see this compared to all of the other chains here as well. We could see the fact that when we compare the market cap, look at the market cap to Hedera. Hedera has a $10.29 billion market cap. Injective has a $1.45 billion market cap. VeChain has a $2 billion market cap. And I'm not saying that we deserve to have a high market cap because of dev activity. I'm just showing you guys how active Axelar is for the ecosystem that it has with the developer base compared to its market cap. There is a lot of activity on Axelar for a project that has $331 million in market cap compared to, these projects that have less activity and a massive amount of this is such a long stretch from 331 million to even just 1.45 billion, not to mention $10+ billion. This is why I keep saying that Axelar is like a next level project, because nobody's paying attention to these facts, but also they continue to expand. We have over here, Full Port Finance is your all-in-one trading platform for perpetuals and the easiest way to deposit and trade on Hyperliquid. Non-custodial by design, powered by Axelar infrastructure, now open in private beta. Again, these types of projects continue to launch with Axelar support, and I love to see this. I think that this is extremely exciting because, again, all of these are going to create value and volume moving over Axelar. This is where we start to see more and more demand. This might be a small project, sure, you could say that, but we're going to see a lot more projects like this launching on Axelar. So I love to see these types of things happening around the ecosystem, and it just goes to show us that the network is going to continue to grow. But also, we did see another big update, and this is from Axelar Korea, and we have Axelar and Danal partnership formed. Axelar, a global interchain infrastructure, and Danal, a leading mobile payment company in Korea, have taken the first step together to build an integrated stablecoin ecosystem. We have down here, Korea is a market optimized for stablecoin utilization, international remittances, small payments built upon services that are already a part of daily life. Stablecoins will provide infrastructure for seamless payments, low fees, and instant settlements, thereby maximizing their utility. Axelar supports the entire process of issuance, distribution, and settlement. 80+ blockchains interoperability network, scalability without fragmentation concerns, automated settlement, refunds, and benefit payments. Any company utilizing stablecoins can advance into the global market more quickly and securely through Axelar. This collaboration goes beyond mere payment innovation, marking the first instance where Axelar's global network security and scalability are combined with real-world payment business. Axelar is realizing its vision as the gateway to open finance in Korea. Axelar, the partnership with Danal, is just the beginning. Axelar will create a safe and regulation-friendly global standard platform in the upcoming stablecoin era. So this is going to, I would argue that this kind of shows us exactly where Axelar is headed, right? They want to become that crucial infrastructure between all of these networks for a stablecoin market. And they're building out this crucial infrastructure. I think that this is very exciting. And even from Axelar Network themselves, they did say South Korea takes a major step in stablecoin adoption. Danal has selected Axelar to build South Korea's first integrated stablecoin ecosystem, combining Danal's digital asset payment rails with Axelar's on-chain infrastructure. Danal is one of South Korea's leading integrated payment companies. Its upcoming domestic stablecoin payment service, developed with local banks, AI, and security partners, will launch on the Axelar network, strengthening South Korea's role in the global stablecoin economy. Axelar unifies stablecoin issuance, circulation, and settlement across 80-plus blockchains. By integrating with Danal, the partnership expands support of stablecoins, countries where payments are possible, real-world payment convenience. The collaboration also accelerates Paycoin, PCI, which is Danal's flagship ecosystem, already live in South Korea, domestic app-based payments, Paycoin MasterCard overseas use, NC Wallet, non-custodial plus interoperable stablecoin payments. With Axelar, these services scale globally. And this was the quote from Danal themselves. The collaboration between Axelar's world-class connectivity solution and Danal's advanced digital asset payment infrastructure will accelerate innovation in the stablecoin industry. So again, this is just another big step for Axelar. And these are the partnerships. These are the announcements that are going so overlooked. I mean, guys, 13.8K views, 210 likes. I mean, you got to be joking. This is why I keep saying that Axelar is so overlooked and it's so undervalued. Not to mention that Axelar literally is one of those projects that has an ETF in pending. You know, it's currently pending right now with the SEC. This goes all the way back to March of this year. Again, not a lot of people are prepared to see what Axelar is capable of this cycle because they're not paying attention to it. They're not even understanding what Axelar is doing. This is why I'm saying anyone that's paying attention to what Axelar is doing right now, they're paying attention to the chart, the announcements. We are going to make a ton of money here because this is a project that, in my opinion, is so overlooked and so undervalued for what it's doing. And it's such a small project compared to some of these other blue chip players in this space. I mean, we're sitting at number 156 on the top 200 list. Guys, just for reference, getting into the top 100 means $700 and almost $20 million market cap. That is almost double the value of where we are at right now. The upside potential here for Axelar is extremely vast. So do not overlook this project. Even if you want to add it to your watch list, you don't have to buy. Do more research. Listen, I think everyone, and I always encourage this, should always do more research than just listening to someone on YouTube. But I do think that this is going to be a very strong project this cycle. And with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out, guys.